Always be me, 39 years old, CEO and co-founder of a tech startup based in Oakland, company called TaskNest. We sell workflow software for distributed teams. Closed Series B last year, $22 million sitting in accounts, around 90 employees. I own about a third of the company, worth roughly $10 to $11 million on paper. Been grinding on this thing for almost 7 years. Barely survived the early bootstrapped hell, sleeping in the office. Credit cards maxed, finally found product market fit. Numbers are actually good now. Revenue climbing about 35% year over year, currently at 4.8 AARR. Forecast says we'll clear $9 million by December. Live in a converted warehouse loft downtown. Drive an electric Porsche Taycan. Closet full of minimalist brands. Very ethical tech founder. Look, LinkedIn headline says, reinventing the future of work for everyone. Regular panel guest at Women in Tech events. Decent Twitter. Following. Nothing huge, but people recognize me. My co-founder is Daniel. He's 44, CTO. Wrote the first version himself. Tens of thousands of lines of code. Pure engineer brain. Social skills of a router. Wears hoodies and beat-up sneakers. Works insane hours. Barely speaks in meetings. Just types and types. We've clashed for years. Classic CEO versus CTO tension. I want speed, pivots, experiments, growth. He wants cleanup, refactors, stability, doing things the right way. I'm on podcasts, pitching VCs, selling vision. He's awake at 3 a.m. Fixing prod outages, and honestly, I've always felt like he doesn't respect me. In board meetings, he corrects me on technical stuff, flat out says, that's not how it works, or that's not possible, right in front of investors, makes me look clueless, undercuts my authority. I bring it up in private. He just shrugs, says he's stating facts, not trying to embarrass me, but it still feels like it. Feels like he thinks he knows better, which, yeah, about code he does. But I'm the CEO. Vision is supposed to matter more. That's leadership lately. Things have escalated. We hired a new engineering manager. Her name's Aisha, 28, MIT grad, sharp, ambitious, great communicator. Everything Daniel is not. I see her as a future exec material, possible VP engineering someday. But Daniel keeps shooting down her ideas, rejecting her plans, barely engaging. She comes to me frustrated, sometimes visibly upset, says he won't listen, calls her proposals low priority, talks over her in meetings, dismisses concerns. It's so familiar. Textbook, toxic male tech behavior, gatekeeping, protecting his turf, keeping women out. I start writing everything down. Dates, quotes, context, building a record at the same time. I push a culture shift, hire a VP of People and Culture named Lena. 41, very progressive, she rolls out new policies, inclusive language guides, bias workshops, mandatory allyship training, bystander intervention sessions, how to call out microaggressions. Engineering team hates it. Of course they do. They always resist change, Daniel especially. He emails me after the first session, says, that was 4 hours wasted. We have a product to ship. Engineers are overloaded. They should be coding, not sitting in seminars. I forward it to Lena with a note, this is exactly what I'm dealing with. March board meeting, I present Q1 numbers. We're a bit behind plan, not catastrophic, but not great either. Daniel presents the engineering roadmap, very cautious, says Q2 needs to focus on infrastructure, technical debt, code base is brittle, too many incidents. A board member named Mark asks, the obvious question, can't we improve infrastructure and still ship features? Daniel shakes his head, says not with current staffing. Team is already at 80% capacity, either slow features or higher. I jump in, say we can do both, say Daniel is being overly cautious, we have cash, we have runway, we need to move faster. Daniel looks exhausted, says, you can't just hire more engineers and go faster. That's not how software works. Adding people slows things down at first. Mark looks confused. I feel exposed, humiliated, angry. After the meeting, I grab Daniel, tell him, "You made me look like an idiot in there." He says, "I'm just stating the technical facts, same as always." I snap back, "Your facts keep undercutting my authority." He shrugs again. "Reality is reality. You're the one overpromising." That's it. That exact second, I decide he's done. Not today. Can't axe a co-founder CTO impulsively, but mentally, he's finished. I start planning, quietly, methodically, begin pulling board members aside. Coffee chats, private calls, frame it carefully. Daniel is slowing us down. Too risk-averse. Not aligned with where the company is going. Resistant to diversity initiatives. Not a culture fit anymore. Some board members push back. He built the product, knows the system better than anyone. Others are more open, especially newer ones. They don't have history with him. I keep repeating the contrast, growth versus stagnation, future versus legacy thinking, inclusive leadership versus toxic patterns. At the same time, I elevate Aisha, give her visibility, invite her to present to the board, bring her on customer calls. She shines, clear, confident, polished. People are impressed. I casually float the idea. What if Aisha had more technical authority? Board seems intrigued. Everyone knows the caveat. She's only been here about 8 months. Daniel founded the company. April brings the perfect moment. Aisha proposes a major architecture overhaul. Full microservices migration. Would take half a year. Touch every corner of the codebase. She presents it at an engineering all-hands. Slides are slick, modern, all the right buzzwords. Daniel listens, asks a few questions, then calmly shuts it down. Not now. We don't have the stability. Microservices add operational complexity. We're not ready. Table this for at least a year. Focus on stability first. Aisha is crushed, feels sidelined, blocked for political reasons. She's not entirely wrong. He is blocking her, just for technical reasons. She comes into my office later, door closed, says, "He'll never let me lead anything real. I'm thinking of leaving. I can't grow with him as CTO. That's my opening." I say it softly. "What if he wasn't CTO?" She freezes. "What do you mean?" I say it plainly. "What if you were CTO? What if you led engineering?" She goes quiet, processing. "He's a co-founder. You can't just fire him." I smile. "Let me handle that. Would you want the role?" She hesitates, then says, "Yes," admits she doesn't have his depth of experience. I reassure her. Experience isn't everything. Leadership style matters more. I tell her to help me build the case next 2 weeks. We document everything. Every time Daniel contradicted me publicly. Every time he resisted culture programs. Every time he shut down Aisha or other women. Frame it as a pattern. Toxic masculinity. Hostile environment. Bring in Lena from People Ops. She drafts a formal assessment concerning patterns of gatekeeping, resistance to feedback. Multiple female engineers report feeling dismissed. Leadership style misaligned with inclusion values. Pure HR poetry. Schedule a special board session. Early May, topic, leadership and technical direction. Daniel thinks it's about hiring. He walks in relaxed. I present. 25-slide deck, professionally designed, cold, clinical, slide after slide, behavioral patterns, cultural misalignment, risk to retaining diverse talent, especially Aisha, quotes, dates, screenshots. Lena backs me up, says from an HR standpoint, "This is unsustainable. We risk losing top female engineers." Daniel sits motionless, face draining, finally understands. Jeff speaks up, says, "These are serious claims, but Daniel built this company. Can't we fix this without removing him?" I deploy the final weapon, Series C, investors, diversity expectations. I say every pitch asks about leadership makeup. All male technical leadership is a red flag, a liability. Sarah nods, says it's true. Funding cares about diversity now. Daniel finally speaks, voice steady, almost calm. "So let me get this straight. I'm being fired for being a man and for making technical calls. You didn't like? I'm ready, respond instantly." That's a defensive oversimplification. This is about leadership approach, culture alignment, and growth mindset. He looks at me. Something cracks, says quietly. I've worked 70-hour weeks for 6 years. I built this system, kept it alive, handled every crisis, and now you're firing me because I said no a few times. Jeff clears his throat, asks how the transition would even work. Who takes over? I say it confidently. Aisha would step into the CTO role. She's ready. Daniel lets out a short, bitter laugh. Says she's been here 8 months. Never built a system from zero. Never scaled anything like this. Says she's talented, but not ready to run engineering. Sarah jumps in immediately. Says that sounds like gatekeeping. Maybe exactly the mindset we need to leave behind. Room goes quiet. Vote gets called. 3-2. Decision made. Daniel is out as CTO. Me, Sarah, and one board member who always backs the CEO. Jeff and another vote no. Doesn't matter. He's offered a strategic advisor position. Corporate euphemism. He sees it for what it is. Says no. I'm not staying to watch you ruin what I built. Signs the separation paperwork. Equity vests. Packs his bag. Walks out. I feel relief. Then a flash of guilt. I shove it down. Tell myself, this is necessary. This is evolution. This is progress. Announce it company-wide. The next morning, carefully written email. Daniel is stepping away to pursue new opportunities. Pleased to announce Aisha as our new CTO. Reaffirms commitment to inclusive leadership. Slack goes dead silent. Engineering channels freeze. No emojis, no replies. Aisha officially accepts. Starts immediately. She's nervous, but energized. I give her the talk, tell her she's ready, tell her I believe in her, tell her to ignore the skeptics, prove them wrong with execution. Week 1, pure honeymoon, she's in every meeting, setting direction, making calls, greenlights the microservices, migration, plus 3 other big initiatives she's been pitching. I'm thrilled. This is the speed I wanted. This is momentum. Week 2, first incident, payment system breaks. Customers can't upgrade plans. Revenue literally halts. Sales team panics. Aisha's in the war room. Engineers scrambling. Takes 6 hours to resolve. Root cause traces back to legacy code. Daniel wrote, one senior engineer, Mike, figures it out, says it's a race condition. Daniel had put in a lock to prevent it. Lock got removed during a refactor last week. Aisha gets defensive, says the lock caused performance issues. Mike looks exhausted, says the slowdown was a symptom. The lock prevented the real bug. Incident closes. I email the company. Thank everyone for jumping on it. Say outages happen. Internally. I'm uneasy. 6 hours offline is bad. Week 3. Another outage. Database migration. Fails. Entire product down for 4 hours. Customers furious. 2 large accounts churn. About $55K, ARR gone, just disappears. Engineering is burned out. Nights, weekends. Mike asks to talk privately. Says he's worried. Says we're changing too much too fast. Microservices should wait until stability improves. I snap back immediately. Aisha is the CTO. She makes those decisions. He says he knows, but she's new, doesn't understand the code base like Daniel did. I hear what I want to hear. Ask if he's questioning her, because she's a woman. He looks stunned, says no, says she's new. That's all. I accuse him of bias. He says he's trying to prevent more outages. I tell him to support his CTO, or find another job. He leaves, defeated. I feel powerful, morally certain. Month 2, everything starts falling apart. 8 production incidents in 4 weeks. Used to be 1 a month. Churn spikes. Customers complain non-stop. Engineering is fried. 3 senior engineers resign. All men. All Daniel's original hires. No detailed explanations. Just other opportunities. I'm panicking internally. Can't show it. Have to back Aisha. She's drowning. Working 80-hour weeks. Won't admit she's struggling. Won't ask for help. Just pushes harder. Approves more changes. More projects. Trying to prove herself. Codebase becomes fragile. Systems keep snapping. Month 3, the collapse. Friday afternoon, 2 p.m. Entire platform goes down. Not degraded. Offline. Database, corruption. Microservices failing in sequence. Nobody knows where to start. Aisha is panicking. Engineers try everything. Nothing sticks. Hours pass. Customers rage. Sales loses. Deals in real time. Twitter explodes. Tech blogs pick it up. Headline everywhere. TaskNest suffers major outage. Saturday morning. Still down. Full-blown catastrophe. Aisha finally breaks. Says she doesn't know how to fix it. Says the architecture is more complex than she realized. Mike, one of the few seniors left, says quietly, "We need Daniel." Mike says it plainly. He's the only one who actually understands this system. I push back immediately. No, absolutely not. We can solve it ourselves. We've already been trying for 16 hours. Another engineer chimes in, says Daniel built this thing. He'll know where to look. Aisha breaks, crying, exhausted, humiliated. Someone says it out loud. Call him. I dial Daniel straight to voicemail. Call again, nothing. Text him. Emergency, a platform is down. Need your help. An hour later, reply comes, not my problem anymore. I text back. Please, customers are suffering. Company is at risk. He replies, you fired me. You said Aisha was ready. Sounds like you made your choice. I'm panicking now. Offer consulting money. Whatever rate he wants. He says no. Wishes me luck. Blocks my number. I'm finished. Sunday morning, almost 48 hours down. This feels terminal. Board calls, emergency meeting. Investors are freaking out. Big customers demand refunds. Lawyers start hovering. We finally get the platform back. Sunday night, total downtime. Just over 70 hours. Absolute catastrophe. We lose about 30% of customers in one weekend. Around 1.1 MIRS ARR evaporates, plus refunds, plus legal exposure. Engineering is shattered. More resignations the following week. Aisha quits, says she's not cut out for this. He apologizes. She's right. She wasn't ready. I set her up to fail. Can't admit that publicly. Just accept her resignation. Monday board meeting. Bloodbath. How did this happen? How did we let it get here? Jeff is livid. We fired the only person who understood the system, replaced him with someone with 8 months tenure, and lost a third of revenue in days. Sarah looks sick, says we have to bring Daniel back. Offer anything. I call him from a different number. He answers. I say his name, say we need to talk. Long pause. He says no. I tell him the board wants him back. CTO role again. He says he's not interested. I offer more equity, full control, anything. He laughs. Cold, says I fired him as a toxic male. Now I want him back because my diversity hire couldn't handle it. I hate how he phrases it, but he's not wrong. I admit it. Say it was a mistake. Say the company needs him. He says the company needed him 3 months ago. Says I chose politics over competence. Now I get the consequences. Hangs up. Never answers again. Board votes me out as CEO that week. Installs interim leadership. Brings in a turnaround specialist. I'm offered founder in residence. Soft firing. My equity technically stays, but the company is dying. Valuation collapses. Series C canceled. Headcount drops to 40. All the good people are gone. 3 months later, we're out of money. Can't raise. Revenue too damaged. Brand poison. Company gets acquired for scraps. About 3 installers total. Barely covers debts and investor preferences. My stake ends up almost worthless. Maybe 90K key when it's all done. From 8 figures on paper to 5 in reality. I'm 40, unemployed, startup dead, reputation wrecked, tech blogs write about it, TaskNest collapses after leadership shakeup, CEO fires technical co-founder, replaces him with inexperienced exec, company implodes within months. I'm a case study now. Business school cautionary. Slide. I try to find another CEO role. Investors won't return calls. They all say the same thing. You fired your technical founder for politics and killed the company. I try to raise for a new startup. No one invests. You picked ideology over competence. That's not a bet we make. 6 months after the implosion, scrolling TechCrunch out of habit. See Daniel's face. New company. Already closed. Series A. top-tier VCs. Headline calls him a serial founder and technical heavyweight. $9 million raised, same firms that wouldn't return my emails. 9 months later, see Aisha on LinkedIn. New job at a big tech company. Title says staff engineer, not CTO, not VP. She landed where she actually belongs. Good for her, honestly. She never should have been put in that role. I set her up. She wasn't ready. Everyone knew, except me. 1 year later, living in a smaller apartment, sold the Porsche, couldn't justify it anymore. Doing consulting for seed stage startups, $160 an hour on paper. Barely get steady work, maybe $65K a year. Used to pull $220K plus equity. Attend a women in tech conference, used to headline these. Now I'm just another badge in the crowd. No one recognizes me, or they pretend not to. Run into another founder, woman I used to know from the circuit. Says she heard about Task Nest. Says, that's rough. I nod. She asks quietly, what really happened? I'm tired of spinning, tired of the story I built. I tell the truth. I fired my CTO because he disagreed with me, and I took it personally, because promoting a woman felt righteous, felt progressive. She listens, doesn't interrupt. I admit Aisha wasn't ready, and I knew it, but I convinced myself belief mattered more than experience, that optics mattered more than competence. My voice cracks. I tell her I destroyed a $45 million company because I couldn't separate politics from execution, because I fired the person who built everything and replaced him with someone unqualified because it felt morally correct. She nods slowly, says, that's honest. It's the truth. I say I was arrogant, ideological, wrong. 40 people lost jobs because of my ego. We talk a bit longer. She's kind, doesn't judge. But I see it. The calculation distance forming, career contamination. I walk home alone, think about the choices. Daniel grinding 70-hour weeks. Me doing podcasts. Daniel fixing prod at 2 a.m. Me tweeting slogans. Him explaining reality. Me calling him toxic. He was right. Every warning, every decision. I just couldn't hear it. I was so sure I was right. So sure he was the problem, that his being a man was the problem. So sure Aisha could do the job because I wanted her to, and it cost everything. Company gone, team scattered, products shut down, customers forced to migrate, years of work erased in months. Not because of gender, not really. Aisha could have been great someday, but because I chose identity over ability, optics over outcomes, I thought leadership was vision and values. Turned out it was keeping the damn product running. 2 years later, working full-time at a consulting firm, not mine, someone else's, senior advisor, which really means failed founder, $95K a year, health insurance, 401K match, normal job, nothing wrong with it. But I used to be CEO, used to be invited, used to matter. Now I'm the woman who fired her CTO and killed the company. That's the label. See Daniel's company again? Announces Series B, 27 speeders, hiring non-stop, check job listings, engineers, all levels. Requirements are simple, strong skills, can handle pressure, no quotas, no statements, just, we hire the best. Exactly what he always said. Investors clearly agree. $27 million agrees, while I make $95K, working for someone else, because I chose politics over competence. Because I thought being progressive mattered more than being correct. Because I fired the person who made everything work and learned the hardest lesson possible. Values don't matter if the product is broken. Customers don't care about metrics during a 72-hour outage. Intentions don't save jobs when a company dies. Reality doesn't care about ideology. Code doesn't run on beliefs. It runs on knowledge, experience, skill. Everything Daniel had, everything I discarded, now I'm here, early 40s, 1-bedroom apartment, bus commute, no. Porsche, no loft, no equity, just a cautionary example of what happens when you let ideology override reality, when you fire people for saying no, when you promote symbols instead of capability. That's how it ended. That's what killed the company. That's what ended my career.